Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Nifty Morning Show. We are live to kick off the week. I'm coming at you from Seattle, the little 425, the 206. It's bright and early over here. I'm not going to lie. We have Pio and Nick joining us just shortly, and easy over at GDC for the week. So we got a banger show, a banger week, a lot of stuff to cover over the weekend. But today we are discussing altcoin season heating up. We have Solana breaking $200. I just got a notification. AVAX is up another 12%, absolutely ripping above $64. 64 buckaroos taking off despite ETH and Bitcoin slowing down. We have Node Monkeys flipping Bored Ape Yacht Club in market cap. Ordinals are back. Ordinals are cool again. The Bodega Super PAC got their pause on a Bitcoin puppet signal. We're up, we're up 60, 70%. We're back, baby. Let's go.
Dude, honestly, I'm so happy for the Super PAC because this last week has been such a buying opportunity because of what happened with OMBs. So many of those prices just absolutely tanked, and it's awesome to see the PAC making moves, sniping. They're gonna get airdrops. They got, you know what? Watch out, Spencer Ventures. I absolutely agree. The performance of the Super PAC is on. It's a race. It's a race. It's Ray Dalio against Spencer Ventures against the Super PAC.
It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. I will say, I'm kind of pissed because you were on the show on Friday and we were talking about these rune stones, and I was like, "Yo, easy, explain these to me, man. I'm trying to understand. I want to get involved." They were a 0.012, and I was like, "Yeah, do I need to buy these? Do I need like what do I do here?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know." Didn't even explain it well enough to me. I missed out on a 4x. He's ran up to 0.045. They're dipping a little bit now, but yeah, I mean, it's great for me to see ordinals. To me, this signals a potential shift from the meme coin season over to ordinals. And if Bitcoin kind of chops here, we might see some interesting stuff here. But speaking of meme coin season, Signal, before we kick things off, did you participate in the pre-sales happening this weekend?
No. There was as soon as BOME or BOME, however you want to pronounce it, happened, you know they were going to come, like derivatives were going to come, and you always know the derivatives are never as good as the original. I did not participate in that stuff. But I was looking at the rune stuff actually over the weekend because that volume has been insane. It's been ferocious, just interest. I didn't think that, like, considering they were airdropped for free to like the OGs of year one, I didn't think we just see a 4x out the gate there. And also I was doing like diving more in, trying to understand rune stones. And I think the meta over on the ordinal sign up until the halving is going to be runes, and then post halving more runes. So that is going to be something to keep an eye on for sure.
Well, that's the next 30 days, right? What is your, do you have ordinal exposure? Are you involved in that ecosystem? I know you said you're eyeing some of these things, but it's pricey. It's not the Solana NFTs, not the ETH NFTs. It's a different ball game over there.
It's the high table. Remember, you got to bring your tux. You got to bring your tux when you go over to the Magic Eden Ordinal site. I've been doing more research about some of the stuff that I want to buy on that side. I think the runes honestly, I think the rune stuff is probably the most interesting meta to come at the moment. There's lots of speculation, hence why, there's lots of speculations. There's lots of, like, if you're looking at RSIC, there's lots of like gaming kind of tokenomics, should I buy now? Should I wait? There's lots happening on that side. And I think it's in these early days, like that's kind of could be a good time to potentially dip your toes. It is speculative, hence why we're seeing, pretty high prices. But I think this isn't something that is going to fade by any means post halvening. It's just not, especially with Casey obviously dropping his runes post halvening and a protocol also coming out. So that it will be very interesting.
The magic, once the this OMB mint played out, I mean, the Super PAC did call it. I will give them credit. They were like, dude, buy before the mint, buy before the OMB mint. Liquidity is just going, and that's gonna kind of be the main piece for the next 2 weeks. And it did happen, and then it played out, and now everyone's rotating back into everything else in ordinals. The last thing I'll say before we kick things off on BOME and the pre-sale meta, I'm such a mid-curver on these things. Like, I'm so bad at buying the left curve, like no brainer. You do it quote unquote for the culture, like BOME, like Bitcoin puppets. I was like, 0.03, 0.02. I faded the hell out of him. And then I tweeted about BOME. I was like, dude, if you're buying this above $1 billion, what are you doing? Cause some heat for that. But I mean, just absurd. And to me, this feels like the last blow off top. People just printed money on this book of memes.
No one could have predicted that you're going to see that price action on that. So I saw the tweet from Beanie. It was at like 35 million market cap. I waited an hour, it shot up, and I was like, I've missed it. Doesn't matter. There'll be another meme coin. If I knew that it was going to full on send, I would have definitely jumped. Like you had so much time to jump into this coin, and it hasn't stopped. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And you know, I have to say, I saw a great tweet that Beanie retweeted, and someone said like the BOME tweet was his best alpha since Wolf Game, and I 100% agree on that. That is an account to have your noties on. But yeah, I mean, the meme stuff cooking over the weekend, as you're saying, but there's always another one. Like I'm not too bothered that I missed this, but like I am, but I'm not, in that there'll be another one. There'll always be another one coming up in this market. And even if you're not on the meme coin side, just look at some of the alts. They've been absolutely cooking as well. You can't really make a mistake in this market. You can miss stuff, but you can't really make a mistake.
You get mad and you're mad about like your 40% gain because everything else is like, there's other things that are up like 2, 3, 5x, and you're like, all right, well that kind of stinks. But I will say Beanie's on a heater now. He's fully back, just crushing it, dropping some heat. Dangerous, I will say, because he can.
Dude, this is what he was like in 2021, but like obviously like, well, as known but also less known in a way. And it was absolute heat. If you were in like the Pixel Vault Discord at the time, and then he had his own Discord at the time, the gems he used to drop, it just cooked. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye and see if he has what else alpha he has coming this year.
I will say it would be. He's very involved in the Say ecosystem. He's invested in it. I think he's invested in that round. He participated in that round for Palette, which is an NFT marketplace that Spencer Ventures also participated. I believe they raised $2.5 million. But it's going to be interesting if he starts pumping that ecosystem. I bought like one thing. It was like $300 or something on Say, and I haven't really done anything on it since. But Signal, I'll throw it over to you for the weather report in just a second. Before I do that, I want to give a quick shout out to the partner of today's show, Leather Wallet. This is the best wallet to be using for all things Bitcoin, not just ordinals, but they have integration for things like just Bitcoin in general, stacks, BRC20 tokens, and more. It's your go-to option to stay on top of all of the current and future innovation happening on Bitcoin, because it's coming, and it's coming fast. I downloaded this wallet over the weekend, actually. Before I was using X first, but you can do a lot more on it from a Bitcoin perspective. You can go to leather.io/morning show and import your wallet, or you can go create one, a new one, and get involved in all things ordinals and just Bitcoin as a whole. We're super excited to be kicking off a partnership with Leather. We've been working with them on the Bitcoin show recently, but we're now going to be working with them on the morning show as well. But Signal, please kick it off with the weather report whenever you are ready.
Oh, absolutely, guys. It's Monday, March 18th. That ETH market volume is coming in at almost 32 million. Solana market volume at 13 million. If you look at the leaders, you got that parallel avatars. They're up to almost 3 ETH floor. Farmland pixels up to 1.6, and apes, they're down to 13.7 ETH. Solana NFTs are mostly in the red. You got Parcel falling 14% to 9.1. Ouch, it's gone sub 10. Clanos, they've dropped as well. Ouch to me. I long them. They're at 9.8 SOL. Over on Bitcoin, Ordinal saw a huge surge of volume with Node Monkeys leading the way, up 50% to 0.8 BTC. The Puppets, they're up to 0.25 BTC. And the Runestones, they're up to 0.04 over there. If we look over on the weekend, what the top 4 stories? Well, Solana has gone on an absolute scorching run, breaking over $200 and overtaking BNB to claim the number 4 spot across all coins by market cap. It is up 40% in the last 7 days. The price action was driven by all-time highs in exchange volume during the Memecoin Mania, happening almost exclusively on Sol. Solana's DEX volumes of 31 billion over the last month, with 3 times the total exchange volume for all of 2022. Secondly, the Memecoin BOME, or the Book of Memes, continued to cook over the weekend, hitting a whopping market cap of 1.8 billion just 48 hours after his launch. I'm definitely not annoyed by that. The top holder that spent 71,000 in a pre-sale cashed out 13% of their holdings for 3.6 million on Saturday evening. Book of Memes is currently down 24% to a 950 million market cap. Thirdly, over on Bitcoin, Runestone to the 4x over the weekend. It peaked at 0.049 BTC before pulling back to the current price of 0.038 BTC. Runestones will give users future allocation to a rune once the protocol goes live after the Bitcoin halving. Current prices put the collection at a market cap of 290 million. And lastly, speaking of runes, Bitcoin puppets and opium holders were airdropped rune puppets on Sunday that will provide 23% of the allocation of the upcoming pups rune token. Bitcoin puppets ran up to 0.25 BTC. The rune puppets collection is sitting at 0.016, and the remaining 70% of the upcoming rune will be allocated to BRC20 pup holders. The current pups token is up 170% to a market cap of 36 million. That is all for the weather report. It is back to you folks in the studio.
Boom. Boom, let's go. It's getting crazy over here. It's getting crazy. I'm going to share some stories from the Daily Bone. You can go subscribe at dailybones.com. We got a lot to cover. Signal, I don't know if you saw some of the stuff that happened this weekend, but god damn, things are heating up, starting with not so much of a good one, but Milady. The Milady's treasury was hacked. 110 NFTs ended up being dumped into Blurbits as low as 1.24 ETH. The floor has dipped 10%, but is back up to 3.3. So if you had any Blurbids out on Milady's, you might have gotten a beautiful, beautiful steal. And as we can see, the Blur farmers are back in full effect with 1,500 bids out for Milady's at 3.3 ETH. Unfortunate, but you win some, you lose some. Quit did a depositor troll, a pre-sale troll. He airdropped dunce caps after announcing a pre-sale. 18,000 wallets sent ETH over. He enabled them to withdraw their funds, but he was basically like, hey, stop messing around. I saw this as I was out on my about to go on my flight back to Seattle, and I was watching people just send money live to this guy.
You know what? This makes me nervous because last year around, I think it was June time, when everybody was doing the send money to this wallet, that marked the bottom. We were like 4 months from the start of the bull cycle. And so I'm getting nervous as people do this. Is this marking the top? And we're like 4 or 5 months from basically going back into a bear market. So people, stop doing this. Seriously, just stop. It's not necessary. It's going to be a rug. Or you're going to get a dunce.
Or you're going to, I will say, Ben.eth, this guy was a freaking pioneer. This guy was a revolutionary. He was before his time, right?
He was the Book of Meme. He was the Book of Meme. He literally was the Book of Meme. The original always cooks. The derivatives, maybe the second one cooks. But once you get diluted down, it's just a rug. BOMO, I think, was the other one to watch for. That initially cooked. I was like, okay, I guess we're just running this back completely, and then it just absolutely rugged. Look at this chart. So if you got in initially, you absolutely printed, but BOMO, FOMO, don't get in on it. But next story, and this is where it starts getting juicy. Slurf, man, oh man, Signal, I don't know if you saw this, but this is a pretty recent news. Happened overnight. Early Monday morning, the Slurf developer accidentally burned tokens earmarked for the pre-sale airdrop along with the LP. And with only 500 million circulating coins, the Slurf market cap ran all the way up to 675 market cap. It's now down to 260. Easy sent 100 SOL to this guy. No.
He sent, dude, I don't know what he's on the flight right now, but what?
Oh man, you know what? This is up there with the Akutar mistake. You know, with the money that's like the 50 million that's trapped in the contract that can never come out. This is up there as a dev mistake. Oh, poor Easy, man. First he has the copiums, and now he just has 100 SOL. Oh, dude, Solana's at $200, and Easy just sending 100 SOL. Oh man, poor guy. Poor
it's
guy.
absolutely out of control. This guy is like on another level. He needs to just stop doing this, basically. And the problem is he gets fired up. He does it, and I'm assuming a shit ton of people were like, "Oh, Easy's in on it. Like, let's go, dude. I'm down."
Yeah, totally.
They all just get destroyed on it. But look, this is not very good. Not great for. I mean, I guess we're gonna see where this plays out. But it looks like the Slurf token did run a little bit, based off of the news that the supply was gonna be going down. But I don't know. Again, I don't know too much about the actual Slurf presale since I did not participate. But yeah, a lot of the people in the comments did go in on it as well. They are not too happy about it. But to a more,
we say to the wrecked ancestors.
You got to pour one out.
You got to pour one out over one of these, especially when you thought it was legit. So to the wrecked ancestors, may you catch another meme coin.
Yeah, and Masiro said this is karma for making fun of my buys and sells. Yeah, Easy, he was getting too. I literally told my friend, yo, Easy, dude, you're getting too big. Head's getting too big. You gotta stay humble, man. You gotta stay humble. The market will humble you, as I have learned countless times about that. But next story, Achi, the original dog Wif Hat, was listed and for an auction, and it sold for 1,210 ETH this past weekend, $4.3 million to Gigantic Rebirth Ventures, beating out Meme Land in a heated bidding war. So
Clemente, does that answer your question now about should I put money in Dog Wif Hat or should I put Bonk? Does this answer your question now?
It actually doesn't. We have Dog Wif Hat up 25% in the last 7 days, up 45% in the last. So basically, this is your way of telling me that I should be putting money in Wif instead of Bonk.
I mean, it's a dog with a hat, and it's the photo of the original. I mean, apart from someone literally giving you the original dog, Achi, I mean, come on, man. It's all about Dog Wif Hat. You can't do Bonk. Don't middle curve this. Just go all on one conviction. Got to do it. Dog Wif Hat.
I did. Bonk. I'm pretty plugged. I was talking to my buddies. I was went out with them on Saturday, and they were none of them own any crypto, but they were asking me like, hey, dude, like what stock should I buy? Like, are you in stocks at all? I'm looking for like, if we really want to do maybe a 2x over the next few years. I'm like, dude, you're 24 years old. Throw it into Bonk. Let's go. Put in, and one of them put in like $100, and they were like super nervous. They were checking the price every hour. I was like, dude, it's $100. What are you doing? Like, anyways, and then they're like, well, how much do you have? And I was like, oh, I got like $4,000. And I think they were like, dude, you've lost it. You've absolutely lost it. But speaking of Signal, this is the counter to what you're saying. BonkBot did $133 million in volume on Sunday. It's setting a new all-time high for the fourth consecutive day. Bonk is up to a $2.5 million market cap. It's slowing down, but it does feel like Bonk is trying to build like real ecosystem stuff, leaning into the meme coin culture, and they're building stuff that's getting used. So at the end of the day, they're making revenue. They're going to continue to have some sort of presence in the meme coin and Solana ecosystem. So I don't know. I like Bonk. Obviously I own, it's my biggest meme coin bag by far, and it's all staked for 6 months, so I can't even do anything with it. But I don't know. Does that even matter? Like, that's what I was thinking about. Dude, like, does anyone care that this thing is making money? Probably not, right? So why am I even talking about it?
The thing about staking in this space is that, like, sometimes it works out, right? Sometimes it works out, but this space moves so fast that staking your like staking anything can look like a really bad move even within 30 days, because you want that cash and you want to take it out and you want to put it into something else, or the project loses momentum, or the meme loses momentum, whatever. It's just like staking right now. I mean, look, mate, I hope it works out for you, Clemente, because I do think I honestly think this is a good trade. I do think having Bonk is a good trade, but for the staking side of things, I just think you always want to be able to access that liquidity quickly if you need it.
I'm such a dumbass. I'm actually so pissed. I'm trying to pull it up right now. So I bought my bonk, right? I forget how much I bought, like a couple thousand worth. And then I was going to the website to stake it. And I thought it was like they were going to ask you like follow-up questions like, are you sure you want to stake it? Like, this is how it's going to work. And I just pressed the button. I was like, oh, yeah, it's staked for 6 months. And I'm like, oh, shit.
You know what?
That's done.
That's what's happened. I learned my lesson when I staked for, this was back in 21, and I staked for Illuvium. By the time I could, like, Illuvium ran up from like, I think I got in like sub 100 or something, and it flew. It did like a 3, 4, 5x during 21. But I couldn't get my cash out. So you can't actually get your, realized gains. By the time you can get it out, it's basically gone down to like, 100 or even below. So I'm not too keen on staking unless I'm really like, okay, I'm going to stake Solana and just forget about it for the next, 2 years.
I do think it's worth staking some sort of bonk. Obviously maybe not as much as like the entire bag, so you can sell some during a pump, but they're building out this like dragon. They're going to do some cool stuff with it. I'm not fading the bonk team. I do like the staking piece, but I would say I made a mistake staking 100% of mine for 6 months. Cause I'm basically betting on Memecoin Mania cooling off basically. Right. And then basically in 6 months, we're going to see another bit of a resurgence there, but I can get my bonk out whenever. Oh, I haven't even tried. Well,
there you go. It's all good. It's all good if you can get it out. You can put some of that into Dog Wif Hat and you're all good.
Well, we'll see. I don't want to take short-term gains on it. If anything, I would take it from something else. But next story. This was a little bit of a juicy one. Gutter Cat Gang announced that they have there's a new management taking over, and they're based out of, you guessed it, the Cayman Islands. They're based out of the Cayman Islands. They're dropping a gang token, and they are directing their owners to acquire gutter chips daily. Previous owners are eligible for a retrospective airdrop if they repurchase at least one Gutter Cat. Let's go. Gutter Cat Gang making moves.
Dude, this was like the shortest tenor ever. Like they like sold the company. I can't remember his name. If you remind me his name, he was on the show. Noah, but then so Noah has left now. So Noah has exited in some kind of way, and now we have new management for the project. Is that right?
So I saw Noah retweet, and I'm sure some of the commenters will know the answer specifically. Yeah, okay, Noah's definitely out. He changes PFP. So Noah is out as the mayor of Gutter Cat Gang.
He's into sports.
We did interview him. I remember when he took it over, and he was like very excited. He's a charismatic guy, and he's retweeting everything. So I'm assuming he's like still supportive, but it's very hard running anything like this. But yeah, Gutter Cat Gang, RIP in terms of Noah, but we'll see if this token has any legs. They're going the good old fashioned farming route. So we're going to see a lot of the usual $ gang tickers being sent out, but we'll see. I'm very curious if you buy a Gutter Cat right now at 0.5 ETH, if this ends up being a positive EV play, but I doubt it is my bet. But overall, I mean, I guess this is worth monitoring. Anon
it depends on who the team is. I think we need to know more about who the new team is based out of the Canary Islands. Yeah,
look at this guy. Look at this guy.
He's really channeling. He's actually, he's channeling that ZK energy. But for Gutter Cat Gang instead. Look, let's find out who the new team is on this. Gang token was meant to drop, I think, back in 22 with Horizon Labs, and then they canceled it after the US government went after Ape, so that disappeared quickly. But yeah, one to watch.
I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole, to be honest, in terms of 0.5 ETH, but those Anon guys are funny, man. They were like, I'm a very prominent person in crypto. I don't want to, if I gave out my identity, it would throw and it would change the bias of how people are looking at Gutter Cat Gang. So I want to be anonymous. I was like, dude, okay, whoa, I guess it's getting serious here, but we'll find out who the identity of this person is, hopefully at some point. Next story, another one, we have the Quantum Cats. they're back in action. Another one has evolved with a golden cape, which means that you can claim it or you can redeem it for a Taproot wizard when their mint comes around in 2055. This one was sniped for 0.5 Bitcoin, and it was resold to 1.9 Bitcoin, which is the same price that it sold for at Sotheby's, to, you guessed it, Gainsey. We're running it back, baby. It's the same old. These guys are still sticking around. He got his paws on a Taproot wizard, basically, by buying this Quantum Cat at 1.9 ETH.
It's interesting to see the prices coming in at 1.90. So let's just say, like, 2 BTC. This feels like could this be the opening price for the wizard collection? I still feel like it's a little bit on the low side, perhaps. I still think the wizards are going to be a bit higher. But it's interesting to see. I think the market hasn't quite figured out what the pricing of the wizards will be, and I think it's still a little bit undervalued here. Considering the momentum that we're seeing on ordinals, I think it needs to catch up to the revealed cats and to the rest of the wizard collection when it drops.
Yeah, and so you're saying at 1.9 it feels low. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I was comparing it to Node Monkeys. Node Monkeys are at 0.75-ish, mid 0.7s. But they are a 10,000 collection. Taproot Wizards is, I think, 3,333, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm sure someone will tell us, but 1.9 Bitcoin is no pocket change. Nick, I wanted to ask him about Node Monkeys. He gave a price prediction of $250,000 for those, and he still hasn't bought in. So we'll see whether or not he buys one. But next story, we have Starbucks has announced that they will be sunsetting their Odyssey beta program and closing the Discord, with everything officially sunsetting March 31st. Signal, you see this?
Yeah, I see. This is so funny. Another wrecked collection happening. Oh my goodness. Seriously, I actually couldn't believe that this was getting sunset, because there was so much momentum behind this. People, I think it was last year, was saying that this has been one of the best organized drops by a corporate company in this space. I don't know, I didn't keep up with the day-to-day of what was happening in this, but I am surprised to see it get sunset. And I think this is just one of the why people are so cautious around corporates, because corporates, a lot of their Web3 arms it's not their main arm. This is not how they make their revenue. They go in, they test the water, they put resources to it, and then 12 to 18 months, they just sort of rug it away, saying, maybe it doesn't make enough money, maybe they're streamlining, whatever. The fact is, this is not part of their main products and services, which is a real pity to see, because they did actually do really, really good drops in the space. So anyway, and another thing, the people went and spent a lot of money in Starbucks just so they could collect the rewards specifically for that program. So maybe, Starbucks made money out of it, but the people in this space perhaps didn't. So won't be the first, and definitely won't be the last.
I'm very curious. I mean, I'm curious to see how the decision was made, how much overhead it had. They must have been spending some type of capital on a per month basis. I know Coffee with Captain, he was an advisor for them. He was working, I believe that was his full-time job, and he seemed to be enjoyed it. I've never heard a bad thing about the Starbucks thing. So it was definitely interesting to see how this played out. I expect a lot of this stuff to happen going forward with some of the other corporate entities. We'll see, but this is kind of where we're at a crossroads here, and people are deciding whether or not they are sticking around or not. Lastly, before we wrap up on all things ordinals prices, on all things daily bones, but we have 9.55 million AVAX tokens, around $554 million will unlock and be distributed amongst the team, foundation, strategic partner, and airdrop recipients. So that's kind of a catalyst to watch for in terms of AVAX. Definitely worth monitoring. Last time this happened, over the weekend, we had a big token unlock for Say. Say ran up over 40%, back up to they got up to $1.10 before pulling back. So whatever way this goes, it should cause a little bit of volatility on AVAX, but we'll see whether or not it plays out. That's the long and short of the Daily Bones, the newsletter that we send out every single day at 8 a.m. Eastern. Some upcoming mints very quickly to discuss. We have a professional degen by OSF. This is minting on ETH. It's a 6969 supply collection. It is a free mint. AL begins at 12 p.m. Eastern, public at 1 p.m. Eastern. I believe the Bodagos have allocation here. So something to watch for there. We'll see. I mean, it does feel like it should get some traction. Last one, we have Bitmon by Deslucrece. That's on Bitcoin, 150 supply collection, free, and it starts at 5 p.m. Eastern. And with us, we now have Choose Rich Nick back from his trip in LA, just dominating over there, getting recognized on the street, making some banger content. Nick, how we doing? Welcome to the show.
Damn, you guys were holding it down with 2 people?
Holding it down, man. Easy as over at GDC.
Holy cow, man. We were, we're about to drop a breaking news story. 1 second.
Okay. Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah. Well, no, I think I'm going to wait till after the show to actually drop the breaking news story. We were recording a live version of the story in front of the store that the breaking news thing is associated with. The biggest challenge that we're facing right now is figuring out, for those that are unfamiliar with the non-Choose Rich version of myself, how we're going to deliver that message. And I'm hoping that what we came up with is a sufficient thing, but we're just going to take a risk and go with it. You know, everyone in this space is familiar with the fact that we run with the biggest breaking news stories and basically get them right 90% of the time. We did miss one big one. Pio pointed out to me last night was when we said that Sandbox was being acquired by Facebook, and the founder of Sandbox had to go on CNBC to refute that statement. But also, like, I don't think the dude had a chance to get on CNBC prior to us breaking that news. So, like, you're welcome. I mean, I feel like we did the guy a favor, if I'm being completely honest.
You said, I think Cool Cats were getting acquired or by Yuga Labs. That's where you got it wrong, but they did get acquired. So it was like half right. But yeah, I would say most of the time you are right. And some of the
Cool Cats was acquired, but the way in which the acquisition went down was non-standard, basically. It got pulled into a roll-up company. And then the founders got kind of effed on that deal. But there's more information coming out today. I'll just let you know what the outcome of this is going to be. Is my expectation is pretty much nothing other than some NFT collections I do think potentially could drop in price.
I do think so as well. It's gonna be
do you think it will be a bloodbath for those NFT collections?
Dude, it's gonna be controversial. We'll see how it plays out, but it's very, very interesting news. I will say look, if you guys are listening to this, you're going to want to have post notifications on for Nifty Nick, because he's going to be dropping some fire. But Nick, just to get on with the show a little bit more, I know you've been in LA, you've been a very busy man. Dealing with stardom is difficult, but have you been keeping up with the Memecoin Mania as of since the pre-sales going down? We're seeing some
thing this morning, the rug.
Yep. I'm curious what you make of everything meme coins, of what's been going on, and do you feel like things are cooling off here, that we might just start seeing a pullback and attention away from meme coins and rotating into something else?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm jealous of Beanie, who tweeted out that he went from 100,000 to $5 million. I mean, talk about a nice swing there. Damn, you know, that's a win. I'm taking the glasses off. In terms of the Memecoin Mania that we're experiencing, dude, a lot of people have made money, but it feels like a bunch of people hanging out in the casino, and the party's gone on for a while. They've been doing drugs. They're making poor decisions at this point in time. There's people I've seen that have made a significant amount of money, though. Shout out to them. The BOME run was, or BOME, whatever you want to call it.
I think it's BOME, yeah.
Book of Meme. Damn, like that thing was a cook. All you had to do was like be on Twitter and you literally could have just bought it and made a fortune. Kind of kicking myself on that one. The transactions, I noticed that what I was running into was like BONK bot not completing transactions, and that was tough. It's been an interesting moment in time, and people are still, there's still a lot of activity in the casino, but I am seeing people like seeing Beanie basically saying, I just cashed out all my chips and I'm back down to my original bag, basically. Let's see if we can run it again. But if he loses it, he ends up with $4.9 million. So like it's a decent situation. Last time when I did something similar, I didn't end up with 5 million. So congratulations to him. Is Bitcoin really at 73,000 right now? No
way.
68. Sorry about that. My computer was delayed.
We can't talk crypto though. I'm more interested. Meme coins. I does feel like it's cooling down. I would predict a lot of the top ones to continue gaining popularity, but some of these shit coins, random ass PvP, I can't imagine that going on for much longer. Especially like what we're seeing now with all the pre-sales. It does feel like the top is in for random ass meme coins. But we'll see. We'll see. I could be completely wrong. Nick, I want to talk to you about Solana. Let's talk about it. What the hell's going on here, man? Things are getting weird, dude.
Well, check out Avalanche as well. What have we said? We've basically said what, like the trade was defined. We've said it. We're in the trade. I mean, that's basically it. Hold the Solana. Hold the I still think hold Bitcoin. Bitcoin at 250. I think we easily get to 150 potentially this year. If Bitcoin gets to 150, which is effectively doubles up, we're nearing my target, my conservative target of Solana at 500. Avalanche, we're still, yeah.
Nick, wanted to ask on Solana, what are you looking at for DCAing out as targets potentially on this?
Well, I would never share that on here. In terms
Come on, be interesting. You're so rich. You can share the love. Come on. No, because it's interesting, right? Because 250 is like it's very psychological. Like, I'm saying 250, it might not be 250, but the previous all-time high, which is around 250. That's a real psychological line where people are going to be thinking, okay, like wherever Bitcoin will be at that time would obviously be at a level where probably hitting another psychological level there as to can we keep this momentum. So the question is like, well, people are saying Solana should be going to like 500 potentially, but sometimes when people say that, I feel like it was like in 2021 when everyone was saying ETH to 10K, but obviously there wasn't, like ETH never had that momentum to get to 10K at that moment. So now we've got Solana with that kind of same narrative. It could get to 500, it could get to 1,000, but at some point, no one wants to round trip Solana back to $20. So you obviously think about when to DCA out. What is that for you?
Well, there's two options. One, you could start hedging, which is what I've been thinking about increasingly, because as it goes up, the question is like, what's your max risk downside here? I don't see any massive negative news for Solana unless there's some massive market event. If there's a massive market event, then I'm looking at then S&P and these other indices will get hit. So your best hedge, I've always enjoyed SPY out of the options puts or out of the money puts, deep out of the money puts for hedging against downturns. I don't know if that's the best source of a hedge. It's also an insurance fee that you're essentially paying nonstop. So you have two options. Either you sell out, but I don't like selling the trade. I had the trade defined. I don't care if it pulls back 30% right now. Someone was saying, I see a commenter talking about you're really tripping to think this rally continues for another 12 months without a massive COVID-like moment. Okay, well, that just sounds, no one had any idea that COVID was going to happen up until the moment where the news was happening, in which case you could short the market because the market had not reacted or digested that information. but it was widely available. We don't have widely available information right now that suggests that we have some huge negative swing happening. I don't think you can effectively predict black swan events, which is what that one was. That's the best time to buy. And there are other issues. I see a commenter talking about inflation. That's another situation that we just had CPI come out, and that was pretty bearish because inflation had not gone down more. I think it went up a little bit. And then Janet Yellen came out saying that she was dumb for saying that calling inflation transitory, and also effectively saying something like we'll never be back down to 2% or whatever it was. They were some bearish indicators associated with that. I like holding Bitcoin as a hedge against that potentially. It hasn't been historically. It's been more a high beta trade on the markets as a whole. So when the market goes up, Bitcoin should go up more. When the market goes down, Bitcoin goes down more. And so maybe we break that trend. We haven't done it yet, but maybe we do. And the thesis of a lot of people which view Bitcoin as a hedge against the runaway train that is the inflated monetary supply. I don't know. Maybe that thesis turns out to be the case. To answer your question, of which that was the longest roundabout way of saying it, I'll start selling a little around 300 to 400. If we just see a spike up to that, I may sell a little bit. Over 80% of my crypto portfolio, 80% is Solana. The 20% remaining is Bitcoin. I have like a couple Bitcoin, and I also have AVAX would be the 3 largest holdings. My CryptoPunk, which has not been doing very well in the past couple of weeks, after a huge run up, is pulled back, and that's a sizable percentage of my portfolio. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to have to sell. I was hoping that I would like us to chop for a few months. The saying "sell and may go away." I think we have something similar like that. What was in 2021? Do we remember when that cycle pulled back? Like, I think March, April was, when did Bored Apes launch? I think it was in March.
Yeah.
May.
Okay, perfect. And that coincided with
April. I think it was April. Yeah, May. April, May. Yeah.
So ETH went down around that time. I think that may be the sort of chop situation that we have. You go away for the summer, you come back into Q3, we get the run up to like 150 or something like that. The market, it can get overheated, and there's no doubt. I mean, Bitcoin's been on an absolute fucking tear. Solana's been on an absolute tear. Avalanche. I mean, there's a lot of crypto that's been just absolutely dominating up until this moment. So, I mean,
Nick, we had Joe McCann this weekend called for $1 trillion market cap for Solana, which is a 10x from here. And he outlined, I think it was a pretty interesting rationale behind it, and basically betting that it will hit $1 trillion this time around faster than Ethereum, which was a kind of a bold claim. But he was talking about basically how it found product market fit as basically the chain for retail, talked about the speed from it, and how ETH is kind of hamstrung a little bit by how slow it is. And then people say, well, use the L2. The L2s are way easier. And he's like, well, the L2s are just terrible UI, basically. So if you want to make the play for retail, it is Solana. Do you feel like that's out of the question for Solana to hit $1 trillion market cap?
No, it's all relative to Bitcoin. Look, right now, ETH is 425 billion. And Bitcoin is 1.3 billion. So you take 429, divide by 1325, you got 30%. It's actually 32 to 33%. If Bitcoin goes up to my target of 250, then you're looking at a 4x from here, which means that Ethereum would have a $1.7 trillion market cap. So a $1 trillion market cap for Solana is not theoretically like an impossibility. I do think that's an extreme scenario, which is why like a lot of people are saying 1,000 feels kind of like relatively conservative. And I'm kind of that mindset that it could easily go to 1,000. I think 400 or 500, I will probably sell a little bit just because like I would feel like a complete fucking idiot if I fully round trip all my money, but I'm not going to sell all of it. I would also still like, yeah. So Bitcoin to 250 this cycle is I know that like Plan B has it at 500,000.
Plan B's out to lunch. I'll tell you, he's out to lunch. He really has dug his own grave in a crazy way. There was something to Plan B for a period of time, but he's completely out to lunch. You know who's not out to lunch? Joe fucking McCann is not out to lunch. And I know Clemente was just talking about Joe McCann. Joe McCann's a badass.
Well, he's a big Bitcoiner, right?
No, he's a big Solana meme coin. I mean, he's a fund manager. So he's someone that only cares about returns for his investors. And his biggest bets were Solana itself, Mad Lads, meme coins, including BONK, including Wif, including When. He is advanced with the stuff that he does over there at Asymmetric. Having him on the Bitcoin show was awesome. But yeah, he posted like an in-depth thesis on meme coins in October and talking about BONK. Everybody said he was crazy for holding the amount of BONK that he had. Yeah, I mean, this guy honestly is essentially the kind of, in my mind, the #1 investor thus far in this cycle, like the #1 fund manager. I don't know, Clemente, if I'm forgetting anybody. He just launched
Ventures.
So, well, sure. Spencer Ventures for NFT native stuff, but Spencer Ventures is actually competing with the fund that Joe just raised with Dan Held. Ordinals only fund. That's competing with the Bodago Super PAC. So like you guys were onto something. Joe McCann's literally stepping into your arena. Have fun with that. Yeah,
I mean, I like it. And Joe, I like his thesis here. I mean, you know what it reminds me? During bubbles, people start throwing out big numbers. And I remember when Henry Blodgett, the founder of Business Insider, which you may have recognized me from being on the front cover of, he got his stockbroker license revoked because he was just throwing out random, like really high numbers of things that he was actively like pumping and selling, basically. But I like it. I like the $1 trillion target. I mean, I think there's a rational approach. My rational approach to all of it is based on relativity. And ultimately, there's a lot of Solana demand right now. And like everyone that I'm talking to, I was, when we were in LA, I'd met with like some founders of startups that I was chatting with and that aren't in crypto. And they were like, so what am I buying? I'm like, Solana. Like, I just tell everyone Solana. And you're welcome. The price has gone up.
No,
okay.
Solana's too good to not eventually hit $1 trillion market cap. I don't know if it hits $1 trillion market cap this cycle. I do think that this cycle is going to achieve a level of weirdness that is just like whatever people would just call it hopium if I said what like the level of weirdness that I think we achieved this cycle. Solana's so much better than Ethereum. It's so much better than Ethereum. And like when you start beating the layer 2 drum on Ethereum, I'm almost like, what are you talking about? Because you have a layer 1 that's already doing all the stuff that they're theorizing that layer 2s on Ethereum can do. Also, if you look at Ethereum's pump last cycle, it was so theoretical. Well, it's half theoretical, but at the same time, the smart contracts and NFTs all, were kind of happening on Ethereum. So I have to give Ethereum credit for that. But this is the most hyper competitive, brand new technology space. And you can get your lunch eaten so fast. And Solana's out here eating everybody's lunch. And Bitcoin is Bitcoin. So yeah.
Let me show you a little something. That's what I'm going to deliver. 1 second.
What do you got? How's it going, Clemente and Seg?
It's good, man.
It's going good, man. It's going good. Essentially, the thing, but Sorry, Nick, go on. Show your thing. Go for it.
So basically what we got here is the Google Trends history over the past 90 days. Red being Ethereum, blue being Solana. Solana has officially flipped Ethereum in terms of search activity. It did back in December of last year as well. Let's go back 12 months as well to see the activity here. Ethereum's been the dominant player all along. Starting at the end of last year, Solana really got a decent amount of traction on a relative basis, and it's in the process of flipping it. And the bottom line is, it is a better experience. We've discussed this over and over and over again. And if you're looking for like this product like experience, you're gonna just have a better one on Solana than you do on Ethereum. There's definitely downsides. People were talking about how their transactions wouldn't go through. There was a lot of failed transactions, and the transactions are fast when they work. I saw some people commenting. I think they haven't rolled out Fire Dancer yet, right?
They've not even close.
And so that's the thing that we're waiting on, which I think would actually potentially expand the bandwidth of the network. But look, it's not like Ethereum doesn't have a place. It's not like Bitcoin ordinals don't have a place. I don't think Bitcoin ordinals are, frankly, are competition with Solana. It's just completely a different category. So yeah, I mean, this is as bullish for Solana as possible. And I think really in the average consumer's mind, it's way easier to get them onto like switch from Ethereum to Solana. Like it's just easy.
Yeah. I mean, I was, my buddies are super into like sports gambling. Right. And when I started using Phantom for like to buy meme coins, I was like, dude, this is like, basically we're just doing social gambling, but I could imagine my buddies being like, oh, I see this meme coin, I'm going to buy it. And like getting like, and you buy it super easily. And the other thing I will say, Nick, New Mexico, they love Ethereum, man. Holy shit. That was all red for Ethereum. They were searching it up.
But
New Mexico just loves Ethereum.
What I was going to say, just on this point, it's just like, if you look across like industries, you always have what you call the big four. So in accounting, you have the four big firms, which would be like Deloitte. It might be slightly different in the United States, but it's like Deloitte, Ernst & Young, and then I can't remember the other two. In banking, you'll have Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and the other two. In food, in fashion, it's all the same. You always have these big four. And in crypto, we're seeing this play out. You've obviously got Bitcoin as number one. At the moment, you've got Ethereum as number two, and you've got Solana at number three. And then it's like a bit of a fight for potentially who might be number four. But I think like at the end of the day, like placing yourself within the big four is never going to be a mistake. Like the amount of time that Ethereum have had to build an ecosystem, to develop, to have other layer twos being built on top, essentially dependent on Ethereum development. There's lots of codependency there. So whether Ethereum falls to number three or Solana goes to number two, the fact is holding anything in the big four in crypto will always be a good play, especially if you're holding it, before this or now in this cycle or for people coming in. So like, it's not either or. I think it's just, it's not either or. It's all of these, Bitcoin and Solana and Ethereum and whoever takes number four, because it's just reflecting what already happened across all industries.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about the price. Like the price of Ethereum is going to go up. Like I see tweets where people still are saying that they don't think that the price of Ethereum is going to go up. Of course it's going to go up. And if an ETF gets approved, then it's really going to go up. And I do think that an ETF is going to be approved. So I wasn't talking about the price. I was really talking about user experience, because I do think that the price of Ethereum is going to go up. I think that the move for Ethereum to go to proof of stake, I don't know if that was the right move. I have no idea. But Clemente, is there anything else we have to cover on today's show? We're an hour in.
Really quick before we end the show, I just want to remind Nick that NodeMonks got as low as 0.4 Bitcoin. They're now 0.74, Nick. And I know you said they're going to 250. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm wondering why you haven't gotten your pause on one of these. It does feel like a run here is imminent for these Node monkeys.
I mean, I missed the opportunity. I don't know what to tell you. You know why? It's because I was busy becoming famous, Clemente. Your boy was we were in Hollywood, just being noticed everywhere. I had famous celebrities, of which I cannot name, unfortunately. They said to keep it confidential. that would walk up to me and say, "Are you Choose Rich, Nick?" And I would say, "Indeed, I am." And they'd say, "Thank you for your service." I said, "You're welcome." And that was just far and wide. As you saw in the video that I published yesterday, one of the guys came up to us on the beach and was like, "Yo, ain't you the guy that got exposed?"
He was dead serious.
Like, this young guy thought that I had fully, and he came up with a little bit of like hate and anger in his eyes when I first saw him. I was like borderline sort of like, and then I just started talking. I was like, "Yeah, I am." And we started having a conversation, and immediately he was like, "Oh, okay. Like, this guy's actually like chill." Like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people that ended up seeing it and they genuinely hated me. Like, that was and that actually came out. That was surprising to see. But I transformed his life and many other people on the streets of Venice Beach, California.
Clemente, is the YouTube native audience fully aware of everything that went down? Because I realized that people stick to their platform. So I don't know, had you been playing the videos on the show last week while everything was going down? Like, does everyone actually know about all the videos and stuff that kind of went down last week?
Yeah. No, they've been seeing them. I haven't been sharing them like, "Hey, we're going to play this video," but I'm assuming from all the comments, they're all talking about the latest video Nick did. Choose Rich, Nick. I'm rich, you're not, etc.
I'm rich or not. That's not part of the brand.
Yeah, it's not part of the brand at all. Rob Deerdeck, though, who I was chatting with, creator of Rob's Fantasy Factory and Robin Big and Ridiculousness on MTV, and SLS Skate. Anyways, he's created a bunch of things. I was at an event with him, and he loved Choose Rich. He was like, "Yo, this is fucking awesome." And I was like, "Can I get you on camera saying that?" He said no. But believe me when I say the celebrities are very excited about the future here and want to potentially invest in it.
Hey-o.
There we go. All right, cool. Well, a great episode of the show. Me and Nick were a little bit late, but strong finish, even if I do say so myself. Stay tuned for a Nick video posting today. We just went over to Soho in New York City. It's a little mini hint right there to record that video. I'm assuming Nick will have that live in the next hour. Thanks for listening, everyone. Show's available on Apple and Spotify podcasts, YouTube, X video on X platform, of course. It's available wherever you get your information. What's so funny, Nick?
I'm just seeing the commenters. They're like, "Oh shit, what's the investment? Where is that going? Like, what is the trade here? Let me know. Give me the alpha. Like, where is that supposed to go?"
Well, there you go.
Probably
Anyway,
not the token that that everyone on Twitter is obsessed with. I'll tell you that much. But yeah.
Literally Bitcoin and Solana. That's your answer. There you go. Anyway, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back tomorrow. Show happens Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. EST. Kicks and easier at GDC this week. So they'll probably have limited appearances on the show. But thanks for listening. Clemente, are we good to wrap? And you got the music ready, buddy? All that?